Trump made some absolutely horrendous claims in a recent speech, talking about some of his Project 2025 goals that would ravage the economy and the overall state of America if he's able to enact them. So I thought we could go through these and one by one showcase the impractical nature of them and overall negative effects that each would bring.
So the rates were cut way down for business, down to 21% from, including state and city and everything. Many companies were paying much more than 50. So they were cut way down, 21%. In fact, I'd like to bring them down further.
Now, this would be horrendous for the economy because not only would we have less funding for roads, for schools, for social safety nets, the things that the middle and working class actually rely on, but it would hurt the middle class in terms of their jobs and wages as well. After Trump passed his tax cuts in early 2018, where he cut corporate taxes, business investments massively began to plummet and never stopped throughout his presidency, meaning that the money corporations saved from the tax cuts was not trickling back down to the workers that Trump said it would. Instead, they were keeping it for themselves or doing stock buybacks to enrich their shareholders, which also massively spiked after the Trump tax cut. So, surprise, surprise, corporate tax cuts only benefit corporations and the wealthy, not the working and middle class. Meanwhile, the Trump tax cuts netted the average family less than $1,000, with the majority only saving under $400, which isn't even enough for rent for most people, maybe a month of groceries if you're lucky and you don't have a lot of kids. And the worst part is, when they wore off, the middle and working class would be paying more in their income, while the rich and corporate tax cuts were permanent. So he made it temporary for the working class, permanent for corporations. And also, Biden's American Rescue Plan resulted in much greater after-tax incomes for the middle and lower classes, with the top earners being the ones whose taxes were affected negatively. And Biden did all that while also raising the corporate tax level, allowing for the middle and working class to receive more of their income, and also allowing for more business investments and building from the middle out.
And then one woman with 2 children that are beautiful children and everything, and that'll be the front page of every newspaper. It's never an easy thing to do, but we have no choice. Dwight Eisenhower, which people don't think of him in these terms, had the largest deportation effort by far in the history of our country, because he said, they're destroying our country, we can't let this happen. That was Dwight D. Eisenhower, president, much stronger president than people give him credit for.
What Trump is referencing here is a largely racist operation that was titled as such. It was Operation that was carried out in the 1950s, and it was very deadly, cost a lot of money, and was inefficient and largely unsuccessful, as here we are 70 years later still talking about immigration, and it would have massive negative effects if Trump could even repeat this and deport immigrants at a mass level, though it's almost definitely something he wouldn't be able to do through the courts, through Congress, whatever. He's just saying this for political gain. But if he did succeed, median household income would drop to near poverty levels, GDP would drop almost $5 trillion over 10 years, prices in multiple sectors would go up that rely on immigrant labor, we would be ravishing Social Security and Medicare, of which undocumented immigrants pay massively into without taking from, the housing market would be hurt, the cost of raising any children that were left behind would skyrocket. It would be an overall major net negative for the American economy.
Just indict me, I consider it a great badge of honor, because I'm being indicted for you. Thank you very much.
They seemed hesitant to even cheer him on here. It seems maybe the jig is up. First off, he was indicted by you, not for you, by you. Grand juries of Americans indict, juries of Americans convict. His enemies had nothing to do with him being a 34-count convicted felon. They didn't indict him, they didn't convict him, and they definitely didn't make him do the crime. But of course, it sounds a lot better for him to say he's doing this for his supporters rather than he's just being held accountable for his own fraudulent actions.